So I'm playing around with my new toy here. This is a Mesa Boogie tube amp. So if your head ever hurts wondering about all the different things that guitarists could want, this is an interesting one because while you've listened to me play a lot out of this Spark amp, which is still absolutely wonderful, that one is taking digital it's digitally using all the effects and taking the sounds from the guitar and reproducing them. A tube amp actually is really old school meeting new school. I mean, these things were first popularized in the 60s, and they have these transistors and power amp tubes. I mean, look at this thing. When I say old school, the Westinghouse Reliatron tube. I mean, this thing is definitely, they don't make them like this anymore. And so luckily I got a couple extra from the guy I bought this from. I mean, this thing takes some care and feeding. You have to make sure to warm it up before you start playing full blast, or you run the risk of blowing these things. So, so it is a little bit more prickly compared to the Spark amp. But what Randall Smith, who created Mesa Boogie, figured out was certain electronic ways to use that technology to produce more sound out of less, and also at the high end of the output. One of the problems that amps had was that once they got to a certain volume, some of the clarity broke down. So the clean sounds that I was just playing you at that higher volume produce a really great feeling because it's kind of filling the room. It's I would even equate it to when you put on noise canceling headphones, like feeling kind of wrapped in warmth of the sound. Some less well-made amps will not be able, after a certain point, it'll just start to struggle to keep that oomph that, you know, this guy and other amp makers figured out a way to do. And it really, people like Santana and Keith Richards, people fell in love with this guy's capabilities and kept asking him to produce these other things that they wanted to bring to audiences. And I played you some warm stuff before. Obviously, even stuff that is a little more tinny or trebly still sounds great, again, because of the output of the amp. So like a simple song like Hunger Strike. So even when it's not very deep bass or rich, it sounds very sharp. You know, great output, and just, you know, even if I'm not playing for anybody, it's just very rewarding to get those sounds. You know, another great song to fool around with is Change the World. Great way to reproduce some of what Eric Clapton was playing on his Strat. Anyway, gonna keep fooling around with this. A lot to figure out, and see you next time.